Well, if I want to be the next U.S. Senator, I better start getting around the state as a whole. So absolutely excited to be here. Obviously, as you heard earlier, I worked with Barbara Gervin Hawkins. We're going to do another event with my classmate from the U.S. House, Liz Campos. And so this was really a great opportunity. We came up here from the Rio Grande Valley, and so it only made sense. But of course, I got to head back to work on Monday. So we wanted to make sure that we could get to as many people as quickly as possible as it relates to young people. Let me tell you that if you look at the people in charge, you would think that, oh my goodness, we are in trouble. But I look at them and I see opportunity. I see the people that are actually going to save us. I'm just trying to make sure that we can hold this ship a little steady until they are ready. But as I say that, I want to be clear about something. A lot of times people tell people to wait your turn. I want the young people to know that their time and their turn is now. If you know anything about history, every single movement that has ever mattered in any way, it was led by young people. And as someone that delivered various commencement speeches, one of the things that I made clear at an HBCU campus is that Medgar Evers was younger than I was when he was assassinated. Malcolm was younger than I am when he was assassinated, as well as we know that MLK was also younger. So just know that your time is now, and there's nobody that can stop you. So get involved, because it's your future that's on the line. Half my life has already passed me by.
You got in this race just in December. Have you had much time on the trail? You've been in Washington a lot. Are you worried about sort of being able to hit the trail enough in time for this primary?
I'm not worried about being able to hit the trail enough. I'm worried about the fact that I won't be sleeping while I'm hitting the trail, but I believe in hard work. And frankly, I think that it's so important that I'm in DC right now, especially as we are heading most likely to another government shutdown. And so I can't say, hey, I want you to trust me so that I can do another job on the federal level if I fail to show up for the one that I've already been hired to do. But I think that the fact that we are in DC makes me uniquely qualified, specifically in this primary, because I do have the federal experience in this time that most people would say is unprecedented. We need someone that we know exactly how they fight in this current environment, because there's a lot of people that frankly have been disappointed with Democrats and Republicans and how they have handled this current situation. As somebody who's done criminal defense work, and we have, a few criminals that, very experienced in that way, but also as someone who serves on the oversight committee and is charged with having oversight over so many things. I think that my experience specifically in this moment is so critical, and it's so important that we have somebody that understands the Constitution in and out as a former civil rights lawyer. Because right now we have people that want to tell us that they're going to do things like get rid of due process. We have people that literally serve in this body that believe that certain people aren't entitled to due process. And frankly, there are other people that are serving on our streets in America right now and have decided that they are going to be the judge, jury, and executioner without any due process. And so as someone who is in the belly of the beast, conducting these investigations, writing bills that are germane to what is happening right now, I will go to DC and I'll do my job, but every single weekend, every single free day I have, I will work. And frankly, people need to know that they have a workhorse, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And that's why I don't know what number city this is that I have been in this weekend, but I can tell you it's either 6, 7, somewhere around there that I've been in.
Congresswoman, what is your message for Hispanic voters in Texas who are going to be so critical to both the primary and the general?
Yeah.
And what's your message to those voters? Why should they vote for you?
So here's the deal. I want us to remain united. I think that it's so important, and as Gina Hinojosa has been coming through with me, we actually have talked about a podcast that I want to put together between she and I.
You guys are going to have a podcast? Right?
Yes, that is the goal. That is the goal. Got to find the time, but that is the goal. I titled it The Elephant in the Room. As a double entendre for a couple of reasons. I'm sure you can figure out one of them. The other one is because I think that the last election, it was clear that we allowed certain forces to divide us. I want to unite us, and we need to be united in our struggle. And so I think that if we talk about the history of how Latinos have been treated in this country, and we look at the similarities between the African American community and the Latino community, I think that more people will see that we have more in common than what separates us. And so I want them to know that I can always be trusted to have their back, not just because I'm running for office, but frankly, because my record shows it. I have shown up in other cities as we have conducted field hearings to make sure that we could hear from local folk on the ground, whether it was in Chicago or whether it was in Los Angeles. I have made sure that even though I currently serve in the Dallas area, that I went to El Paso and made sure that I evaluated that ICE facility. I also want people to know that there's a young woman, a black woman, who I consider to be a little sister to me, LaMonica McIver, who literally is facing 17 years in prison right now in New Jersey because she had the audacity to do the oversight that she is required to do as a sitting member of Congress at Delaney Hall in New Jersey. And guess what? Delaney Hall has recently had a couple of deaths on their hands. So she was trying to prevent that. And unfortunately, it was ICE that got in her way of doing her job. And now they want to lock her up. Imagine that, trying to lock up and incarcerate a sitting member of Congress who was actually trying to do her job while allowing a man that has 34 felony convictions who wanted to be a junior Maduro of this country, allowing him to run our country. So I will say that my record speaks loud. There's going to be a lot of distractions. There's going to be a lot of divisiveness that they try to bring in. But what I have said all day today is that divided we fall, united we stand. And I am here to listen. I am here to work. I am here to serve. And I'm not just giving you lip service. When it comes down to how I have run my offices, I have always believed in diversity. That's never just been some promo that I've run. In my office right now, I have 5 Latinas who are bilingual. So you don't have to worry about where I stand and if I'm just gonna say stuff. I have people that are around me every single day that are always gonna make sure that I am up to speed on what is going on in the community.
Talk to the women business owners that are struggling right now, and why you deserve this level.
Yeah, so as someone who misses her small business herself, listen, I get it. And while I know you specifically asked me about women, I want to say that we are all struggling. And that's what I want to make sure that I can make sure we tie together. Because right now, whether you're a small business, whether you have a small farm or ranch, whether you are even some of these large corporations, we are seeing a record number of bankruptcies that are being filed because of the policies directly related to the policies that this administration has decided that they wanted to implement. If we want to specifically talk about women, then we can talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion and the rollbacks on that, and making the decision to say, you know what, these federal dollars, we don't want those federal dollars going out to contract certain people, or we want to preclude dollars from various banks if they have programs that are specifically there to target people. The reality is that we know that even today, as we have fought on the federal level to make sure that we can get the Equal Rights Amendment signed and done, but we ain't got there yet. We know that women in general, when we look at what we make versus our male counterparts, there is no comparison. That's just when we're talking about the workforce. So when it comes down to where we are and how far behind we are because we've never necessarily been on the same page, then we have to look at whether or not we are supposed to be providing economic opportunities to grow our own businesses. We have to look at the disparities in how far back we were trying to run from anyway. They are deciding that they want to pretend like we don't exist. And every day I remind them that we do. And usually we are a little smart about it. We have a little wit about it. So it's important to have people that understand the struggle. And so I am always committed to making sure that as I govern, I legislate in a way that is going to present those opportunities as well as listen. I've received awards from some of our small women businesses, organizations. They come through and they make sure they have conversations. So I want to say, no matter who you are, if you are someone that is paying taxes, you need to make sure that no matter who it is, whatever level of government it is that they serve on, that you show up and you hold them accountable. You ask them questions. You tell them what you need. And ultimately, you decide whether or not they're delivering. I am here to tell you that I am here to listen, learn, and do better. So let's make sure that we hold everybody accountable and we start to make government work for all of us.
Last question over here.
Just to piggyback off the question about co-living building, what's your message to rural and greater areas in Texas?
Yeah. So listen, most people don't know that I actually started my political career, if you want to say, as a 20-something-year-old in rural East Texas. That's where I was. When I graduated law school, I went to Bowie County, Texarkana, and I ended up becoming the youngest African-American county chair out there. And so I will tell you that I know what it is like to wake up and smell the paper plant. I know what it's like when there's a concern about whether or not the Tyson plant is going to shut down. I can tell you that those guys at Cooper Tire, whenever they called me way before I was actually running for office, I always stood with them. I know what it's like when you don't have a specialist in your county, and so then I had to go to Shreveport or to Dallas just to go see a doctor. I understand the struggles, and as someone who served on the Agriculture Committee last cycle, who was endorsed by the Farm Bureau, I am someone that has consistently listened to, understood the fights of rural America, specifically Texas farmers and ranchers. Those guys, whether they are cotton farmers, I'm combining the words, whether they're sugar guys or otherwise, I understand that there are challenges with water. I understand that there's a challenge because we've not gotten the farm bill passed and we are 4 years past a 5-year farm bill. I understand that their input costs are through the roof and they have no relief. I understand their fight. So there is a perception that because I represent an urban area that I don't know, but I'm trying to tell you, they're my roots. They're out in East Texas, and I've learned so much as a member of the Agriculture Committee when I was on it. So I'll be there to talk to them and hopefully get to some real solutions. Thanks so much, y'all.